Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Girls on Deck. We missed you last week, but we are back talking all Major League Baseball today. I'll be recapping some of the opening weekend series with Kayla Lewis and Erin Dougherty. Then later I'll be discussing breakout pitchers and a certain Kansas City Royals rookie with Kayla Lewis once again and Johnny Jackson. Girls on Deck starts now.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back. Okay, always locked in, I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check your stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
5, 4, 3, 2. After months of waiting, opening day came and went and the season is officially underway. Once again, I'm joined by Kayla Lewis and Erin Dougherty, who is making her Girls on Deck debut today. Erin, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me today.
Well, we're excited to have you. Kayla, how's it feel to be back?
Feels good. Opening weekend. It's exciting. I'm ready to talk baseball.
Yeah, well, let's get started with the series. I wish I could forget, honestly, but I can't. The Dodgers versus the Rockies. I was so excited for the series, to be honest, because I thought it would be a nice, easy opening weekend. But the Rockies pulled through, winning 2 of the 3 games. The Dodgers started off strong Friday night, winning 5-3. The Rockies took an early lead that game, but the Dodgers caught up in the 4th, and it was their game from there. The rest of the weekend did not rule in the Dodgers' favor, though. Saturday night, they lost 3-2 after Connor Joe broke the tie with a home run at the bottom of the 8th. Sunday, the Rockies took an early lead, but this time the Dodgers could not catch up, and the Rockies won 9-3. Kayla, what went right for the Rockies this weekend?
Well, they had a good bullpen coming into it. I think they were hitting very well. For example, Carlos Estevez, he helped pitch to win the second night for against the Dodgers. And I just think everything, they were on their game, really. And all I'm hearing is that the Dodgers suck this weekend.
Look, I don't want to talk about it, but Erin, what did you think of the Rockies?
Honestly, I think the Rockies did what they needed to do for their opening weekend, and they pulled through.
Yeah, and at first I was judging Chris Bryant for going to that team, but clearly maybe he made the right decision. But honestly, I think it was a fluke of a weekend. I hope it was, unless the Rockies are going to make a name for themselves this season. But I have to applaud them for what they did. And on the last night, Julio Urias was the pitcher for the Dodgers, who we relied on heavily last season, and he struggled very much so on Sunday. Kayla, do you think he's losing his momentum, or was it just a fluke?
I think he's losing his momentum. He allowed 6 runs in 2+ innings. He had no velocity and a lack of command, and it's way worse than his average last season, and I don't think he's going to be as good as he used to be.
Yeah, I definitely fear for the Dodgers a little bit when you talk about someone, again, like Urias, who's been such a clutch player for them over and over again. So when you see him struggle like that, it does worry me. I know Dave Roberts said there was some struggling too in the spring training, so hopefully that's just, again, like a fluke. Something's going wrong, he fixes it, gets back in the season, because he's one of those pitchers that the Dodgers need if they want to be successful, because can't use Walker Buehler and Clayton Kershaw every night. Erin, what did you think of the Dodgers this weekend?
I thought they did what they possibly could, but it just did not work out for them at all. They need some help.
Yeah. I actually want to ask Kayla about this too, because Freddie Freeman made his debut. He did pretty good again offensively. We clearly couldn't keep up this weekend. But Kayla, what did you think seeing him in blue instead of the Braves uniform?
It still hurts that he's not with us, but we're doing okay without him. He did do good with the Dodgers. He came in clutch when they needed him to hit. But, yeah, it sucks he's on the Dodgers. But, the greatest lineup, they said the Dodgers going to have such a good lineup going into this season, and I did not see that this weekend.
Yeah, that was not there for them. Their great lineup was
not
there.
Don't get too confident. We're going to talk about your Braves in a second, Kayla. But I think the Dodgers will get it together. I think they do have one of the best lineups in baseball, and clearly maybe they were just a little overly confident this weekend, but we'll see what happens. Moving on to Erin's favorite team, the Yankees played the Red Sox in a classic rivalry series. The Yankees came out on top, winning 2 of the 3 games. Game 1 was a home run heavy game. Red Sox Rafael Devers hit a 2-run homer at the top of the first inning, and Rizzo, Stanton, and LeMahieu homered for the Yankees. The Yankees offense came out on top and they won 6-5. The Red Sox fell short offensively again in Game 2 after Anthony Rizzo and Giancarlo Stanton both hit 2-run homers, helping the Yankees win 4-2. Sunday was a different story, though, when the Red Sox were saved by a tie-breaking homer by Bobby Dalbec at the top of the 6th and won the game 4-3. Erin, the pattern of this series seemed to be the big home runs. So what did you think of the Yankees?
I thought they did fantastic. I loved watching, I think it was Friday night's game when they did 11 innings because they were just tied the entire time. So I thought they did fantastic. I'm really excited to see how the season's going to work out for them because I thought they did fantastic.
What did you think of the Yankees, Kayla?
I think they did good. They just struggled a little bit yesterday with their hitting because Boston, they had multi-run leads in the first 2 games and they blew it. And they came back, they rallied back last night, and I think it was good to watch. And I think the Yankees have a really good team going into the season.
But what does it say for the offense? I mean, you look at this weekend, and we just talked about the Dodgers versus the Rockies, which was, very a lackluster game overall. The Rockies won, and then this Yankees game, and it's homer after homer after homer. Rizzo and Stanton homered back-to-back nights, Rizzo with the same type of homer. What does it say for the offense here? Something that, we've seen the Yankees a lot in that strength, but someone like Giancarlo Stanton specifically, we have not seen that offensive strength from him in a while. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think some of them struggled on the offense, but they also picked it up when they needed to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it goes a lot to say for Yankees fan that Giancarlo Stanton might finally be living up to that multi-million-dollar contract they're paying him every year when he continually is hitting homers. I think he's starting off pretty strong. Hopefully he can stay consistent. My worry for him is, as always, the injuries, and hopefully he stays healthy this season because I think, as much as I hate to say it, I think that could really take the Yankees far, especially which I want to ask you about next with Luis Severino coming back. He hasn't played since 2019. And Erin, what did you think of his return?
I thought his return was fantastic. He did about 4-ish innings, and I thought for his first time back, he really did fantastic.
Kayla, what did you think?
Yeah, I think he did great coming back. You wouldn't think maybe he wouldn't be as good, but I think he just showed that he can come back from that, and he was just as good.
Yeah, I think the Yankees are in a good position with him coming back because, as we know, the Yankees have struggled in the postseason when it came to pitching. I don't think they had the depth that they wanted. And, with Garrett Cole saying that 4 minutes, what was it? He said the game started 4 minutes late. That really threw him off, and he had a horrible game. You're going to need someone like Severino at the top of your rotation because that's what's going to get you further. So I think that addition of him coming back will be a strong suit for the Yankees if they can get the rest of their pitching together because offensively, clearly, we've seen a lot from them. So I think they're going to be a competitor this season. Up against the Blue Jays in that division, I don't know, but we'll talk about that one later. So the final series I want to talk about is the one I know you're excited to talk about. The Braves versus the Reds. It was a rough start for the reigning World Series champs when they lost 6-3 on opening day. They were able to bounce back in Game 2, getting an early lead and maintaining it despite the Reds driving in some runs later in the game. Game 3 worked in the Braves' favor with Ozuna and Albies both getting RBIs and winning the game for the Braves 2-1. To end the series 2-2, the Reds debuted rookie pitcher Hunter Greene on the final day, and they picked up a 6-3 win. Kayla, what did you think of the Braves in this series?
I honestly, that's my team. I think they could have come out a little stronger. They started, opening day, they had Max Frieden, who was the pitcher in the last game of the World Series, and he did not start very well. He allowed 5 runs on 8 hits in 5 innings, and McHugh took over for us. Home run was hit on him right away. I think our pitching staff wasn't as strong as everybody thought it was going to be coming into it. But then again, we tied the series, and at least we didn't lose 3-1 or something.
Yeah, what did you think of the Reds?
I thought they did okay. I thought that their rookie pitcher, Riviere San Martin, he did not have a great start to his career. He only lasted about 2 1/3 innings. He walked about 5 people. That was not a good start for them at all.
No, I think it was a split series. It was 2-2. So you can't really say one was essentially better than the other. I will say the Braves have a lot to work on going against the Reds. That shouldn't necessarily have been an easy win, but someone that they could compete a little more against. But I think when Acuna does return in May, that will add a lot of offensive help. And I think, you're going to have to figure out what pitchers you want. Now you have Jansen as a reliever, so that'll come in clutch for you later in the season when it gets a little tougher. But I think the Braves are in a good position. Where do you think they are compared to maybe this time last year?
I think we started out last season a little rough too. It's how we always start. I do think we're starting out a little bit better than we were before. You know, we have the pitching is struggling a little bit, but we always struggle in the beginning of the year, and I think as we go, we'll pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Reds themselves, you know, they're in a division that's not exactly the toughest in the world, and I think they could have a chance, you know, especially with Hunter Greene, who we're going to talk about later, but I think they could have a chance if they get that pitching underway, and that's the same as always. But offensively, yeah, the Braves were a little bit lackluster this weekend. I think that's the pattern we're kind of seeing here is the teams that we thought would come out really strong, like the Dodgers, the Braves, and even, you know, the Yankees. They came out strong. I can't.
They did really good.
They did really good. I can't say anything about that. But I think, you know, we're seeing them maybe come out a little too confident, and I think it's going to be an interesting season, especially, you know, now with these small market teams getting these players like, you know, the Tigers and the Rangers. I think that is going to be interesting to watch the season as it prolongs. So I'm excited. I think the Dodgers will pick it up from here, but that is all the time we have for this segment. Thank you so much, Erin, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun.
And Kayla, we'll see you next segment, so stay around. But thank you so much. We'll be back.
Because I am a New York Giants fan and I want my first pick of the week to be my team. I see an upset for the New York Giants this Sunday. Bet your entire savings, and I'm telling you right now, they're gonna win. I don't care what you say. It's gonna happen.
I have to go with the Raiders, I think, for this one. I don't see them losing.
Welcome back. It is now time for our primetime picks of the week, the best segment. I'm currently doing awful, standing at 16-10, Oklahoma State and Texas. I'm going Texas 35-27.
All right, Jeff, don't tell me your winner, but who is going to the Super Bowl?
The New England Patriots.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
God.
The
Oh
NFL is
my
gonna
God.
the NFL is gonna make it happen.
We are back with Kayla Lewis and Johnny Jackson to talk about some pitchers who we think will be successful this season and some we maybe think will not. Johnny, how are you today?
You know, I don't come on air much, but I'm very happy to be on Girls on Deck today.
I do remember you saying it was your last on-air appearance the last time you were here.
Yeah, I am a liar.
But yeah. Proven fact. Kayla, how does it feel to be back in segment 2?
I'm doing good. Ready to talk about the pitchers.
Awesome. Well, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about some breakout pitchers. There's been a lot this season so far, and I talked about it a little bit in the first segment. My breakout pitcher would have to be Hunter Greene. He made his major league debut and scored his first major league win when the Reds won 6-3 against the Braves on Sunday. He struck out 7 batters and allowed 3 runs in 5 innings. Not too bad for it being his debut and also going up against the reigning World Series champions. So, Johnny, what do you think of Hunter Greene?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. It's kind of the tale of 2 games for Hunter Greene a lot. Like 3 hitless innings, like 6 strikeouts, and then he gave up 2 homers. Hunter Greene's nasty. Shout out to the Reds for giving him an opportunity after they sold
What about
off
that fastball?
the entire team. He throws hard. Throws really
Yeah,
hard.
100-mile-an-hour fastball a couple times.
Throws really hard. Has a great slider, great changeup. Hunter Greene has a lot of things that make him very exciting. Unfortunately, the Reds do not because they suck.
Yes, that's true. You can't have Hunter Greene carry you all the way through the season, but Kayla, what did you think of him?
Yeah, I totally agree. That fastball, I mean, against the Braves, it sucked, but he was good, and I think he's going to come in clutch for this team this season.
Yeah, I think he's one to watch in my opinion. But Johnny, I want to move on. Who's your breakout pitcher?
My breakout pitcher is Dylan Cease of the Chicago White Sox. I'm an avid White Sox groupie.
Okay.
Love the White Sox. Love Ethan Katz, the White Sox pitching coach. A couple things to note about Dylan Cease. He had an ERA of about 4, had 3.41 FIP. So it is a little bit of a thing. Over the 90th percentile in strikeout rate and whiff rate. Increased that a lot. Does need to cut down the walks a little bit.
How does he play into that kind of White Sox rotation, Kayla?
I think he plays in very well. You know, he went against the Tigers, his debut this season. In 5 innings, his ERA is standing at a 1.80, and that is very good, in my opinion. It's very good for any pitcher. And him starting out so strong, I think he's going to be able to come in clutch for them as well. And, I mean, he's already doing better than his 2021 ERA, which is 3.91.
Yeah, and, you know, this is the White Sox team. I mean, I could predict them going to the World Series this year just as much as anyone. Johnny, what do you think with him in that rotation, if that's going to help them kind of take that extra step?
You know, the White Sox are very good. They have a very good lineup, very good pitching staff, very good bullpen. The White Sox at least ALCS, if not World Series.
Yeah, I absolutely think so. I think they've been so close each year, and they're just missing those little pieces, and I think they've done a really good job, which is what I liked about working on fixing those key pieces each year. You don't see them kind of missing the mark on, they should have picked up this guy, they should have done this. No, I think they're really consistent in fixing what they need to work on. And Kayla, who is your breakout pitcher?
My breakout pitcher comes from the Braves, Colin McHugh. He struggled a little bit. He had a home run, like I said before, hit on him right in the beginning. I think it was just him struggling. He was put in, pretty sure it was last night, and he did a lot better. Now, his ERA was a lot better with the Rays last season, but I think Atlanta is his hometown. I think him being home will also help him in the long run.
What did you think of him?
Yeah, so Colin McHugh has been incredible since the Astros moved him from the rotation to the bullpen. Obviously, he was amazing in Tampa. His wife just opened a new storefront in Atlanta, which is a big reason why he went there. He could have made a lot more money than he did, but he valued being with his family and being for a winning team. The Braves are good. Colin McHugh's good. Love him.
And I respect that. You know, when people go for the winning factor, maybe it's not so much the contract. I respect that. And I think, you know, he has a lot of growth to do. It's adjusting to a new team, new city. So I think we'll see him progress throughout. And with the Braves, my fear is, you know, like you said, Max Fried didn't do that great this weekend. Is he going to have to make up for some of the Stars' kind of weaknesses is my only concern with him. But I think, in my opinion, the breakout pitcher here is Hunter Greene. I know you want to say Dylan, I know you want to say that, but look at Hunter Greene.
He's great to look at. I agree.
I mean, you can't, but I think overall he's going to be the top rookie pitcher of this season. And I don't think that's a hot take because I think that's just factual evidence.
I think it's a little hot.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's
Look,
too early.
Him being on the Reds might be his downfall because they're the Reds. But I really expect a lot of him this season. But let's move on to pitchers who I don't think we will see as much success.
Hunter Greene.
You know, it's fine. It's fine. You'll just have to see. It's fine. I'm not going to say anything.
I saw the ball
else.
go out of the yard a couple times.
You saw the 100-mile fastball too.
But it could have
the
just been
strikeouts.
could have been like a one-time thing, like I'm good right now, and the next time I meet I'm gonna suck.
Anyways, as a pitcher who won't see as much success as Boston fans will like, Nathan Eovaldi, and I know Johnny's going to fight me on this one, so I cannot wait. In the opener last week, he was on the mound when Stan and Rizzo homered. He was solid last season for the Red Sox, but I don't think he can be consistent for them this season, which is what they would need to even remotely compete in their division against the Blue Jays, the Yankees, or even the Rays.
Yeah, so I agree. Eovaldi has had some consistency issues, but the one thing he is consistent about is putting a bib and diaper in the New York Yankees. He's done that for his entire career.
Did he do it last weekend?
He did it in the wild card game. Did it when it mattered.
But he didn't do it this weekend. We're
Yeah.
talking about that break, you know, where things can happen. Maybe he changed a little bit.
The only thing he's going to change is the Yankee season. He's going to end it. He will end it in October, guaranteed. Maybe September 31st if the Yankees don't even make the playoffs. Nathan Eovaldi will end the Yankees season. That is my prediction.
Especially with Luis Severino coming back.
Yeah, coming back. Listen, added the cutter, great pitch, hasn't thrown it a lot since 2016. Luis Severino is good. Evaldi is better.
I highly disagree with that. I just think, again, we're talking about consistency. Severino was amazing when he went out.
He was.
I was nervous for his comeback, but we saw a lot of strength coming back
good.
early on. Yeah. So I just think that Severino would be better if we're talking about comparing those two.
Yeah. The other thing is that Garrett Cole should probably wear brown pants when he faces the Red Sox. He's
Garrett
not
Cole
good.
apparently can't face anyone, so if we're being honest.
Contact manager Garrett Cole.
Yeah. Again, 4 minutes. What was it, right? It was 4 minutes.
Yeah.
The game delayed, and that really just
threw him off. He couldn't
that
handle
was,
it.
It was too much.
Cy Young, man. Cy Young.
Yes. Oh my gosh. #1 pitcher in the league, guys. Garrett Cole.
Isn't Nathan Evaldi their ace this season, right?
Yes,
that
which
adds
is
more
why
pressure.
Chris Sale's got to be back.
He can't handle the pressure.
He's got to be throwing 98 from the left side.
Chris Sale's not coming back. I don't think. Look, if you're telling me that Nathan Evaldi's maybe like their 4th or their 3rd, okay, fair. I don't think he's their ace. I don't know who their ace is. I don't think the Red Sox are competing this year, which is why I think Nathan Evaldi is overrated. But who is your overrated?
I don't know if overrated is the necessary word for mine. I chose someone who I think is going to regress a lot. You got Ranger Suarez from the Philadelphia Phillies. The great things about Ranger Suarez, there was a great sinker, great changeup, gets a lot of ground balls. The terrible thing about Ranger Suarez is Alec Bowman, Didi Gregorius have to catch ground balls. That doesn't happen a lot, unfortunately. Phillies defense is awful, you know. A reporter asked, I think it was Castellanos, you know, who's going to catch the balls for that, you know, in Philadelphia? And Nick Castellanos said the fans, because they're going to hit, you know, 200, 300 homers. They're going to give up 200, 300 errors as well in 162 games. That defense is atrocious. Ranger Suarez is going to come back to earth.
I talked about the Phillies before because I said I think they have a chance this season if it works. And I'm really, again, we're surrounding myself with that if. And I don't know if they could do it, but I think Ranger Suarez is one of their best bets. Again, you're blaming it on the defense. It has nothing to do with him, essentially. I do agree they have some strength that they need to kind of figure out, but if it works, I'm just going to rely on if it works. Because I think that whole division is a lot of if it works, except for the Braves. Well, maybe not anymore, but.
Shout out New York Mets. Most innings pitched out of any starting rotation, lowest ERA out of any starting rotation. Carlos Carrasco was good for once. I mean, the Braves, man.
Austin Walker is happy, but no one else is happy because we hate the Mets. But Kayla, what did you think? What do you think of Ranger Suarez?
He had a low ERA last year. I think he's going to start less games and allow more home runs, and it's just not going to be good. He won't be as good as he was last season, but that's to be expected. His ERA was very low for any pitcher. I think he's going to get worse and worse.
So after this weekend then, in that division, what do we think? Because I thought the Braves were a lock, but if the Mets can figure it out.
Let's hope not.
What do you think, Johnny?
I think the Mets got a lot better, and they also underperformed a lot in hitting. As soon as a runner got to second base, they all turned into like last season's Cody Bellinger. Love Cody. I think he's going to be a lot better this year, but, you know, man on second for the Mets, it was awful. The Mets pitching staff is good, and they also get Jacob deGrom back at some point. And even like a 60% Jacob deGrom is better than like half the guys in the bigs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it is.
Scherzer.
You know, a guy taking it easy and still pumping 99 in spring training is insane. And I think Jacob deGrom needs to be tried for witchcraft.
DeGrom is a wasted talent, though, on that team, and I would love to see him go somewhere else. But before we move on, what is your overrated or lackluster pitcher this year?
Corbin Burns on the Brewers. He won the NL Cy Young Award last season. I don't think his changeup is going to improve. I think he's going to get worse. Some people say he's still in the running to win Cy Young again. I don't see that happening at all. I think he's also going to get worse. You know, you play good one season. They had a lot of time off of like shortened spring training, and I don't think it's going to work in his favor.
Yeah, if we're talking about Corbin Burns and the Brewers, I think the team as a whole is a little overrated this year. I don't see them actually doing anything important. But Johnny, do you agree or disagree?
I think, like it always is, the Brewers pitching staff is going to be phenomenal. We got Corbin Burns. Even if Corbin Burns, like obviously, do I think he's going to have an ERA under 2 again? No. Do I think he could settle in at, the mid upper 2s, maybe the low 3s? I think that's possible. But the thing is, you don't just have Burns to contend with. You have Brandon Woodruff, who pitched like absolute dog water. You got Freddie Peralta. Love me some Freddie Peralta. You got Adrian Hauser, Eric Lauer, a bunch of guys whose names all rhyme for some reason. You got Josh Hader at the back end closing games. If it's a 1-run game against the Brewers, the game's over. Do not give that team a lead. They will shove it down your throat. But again, can Christian Yelich hit a baseball again? Who knows?
Who knows? Hey, Giancarlo Stanton's coming back. Maybe Yelich is going to come back. We're going to see a rebirth of that. But before we move to Woman of the Week, I really quickly want to talk about Bobby Witt Jr., #1 prospect. Everyone was waiting for his debut. What did you think of it?
Just quick note. Royals, get your defensive alignment together. Why is Nicky Lopez the best defensive shortstop over the last 2 years? Why is he playing second base? Why is Adalberto Mondesi playing shortstop? Insane. Bobby Witt Jr. playing third base, amazing. The swings look great, at-bats look great, had like a clutch RBI double the other night. I mean, He's nasty. He's on my fantasy team.
defensively,
He's good, really good.
He helped them win that game essentially with that out at the home plate.
Yeah, amazing.
But moving on to Women of the Week, this week I gave the honor to Kayla Lewis, who's going to talk about the #1 ranked Oklahoma softball team.
Okay, so like you said, this week's Woman of the Week goes to the #1 ranked Oklahoma softball team led by Coach Patty Gasso. On Sunday, the Oklahoma Sooners shut out the Texas Tech Red Raiders 21-0, which pushed them to a 36-0 record on the year. With this win, they made history for having the best start to a season in NCAA Division I softball. Right now, they lead the nation with 83 home runs, and they have an average of 2 home runs per game. They're also first in the country in the ERA at 0.65, and to put that into perspective for you, the closest team to that is UCLA with a 1.16. They're batting 387 as a team, and on average, they are allowing their opponents to bat only 137. With only 14 regular season games remaining, 2-3 in the Big 12 championship, and 10-15 in the College World Series, they could push to break their record of 48-12 from a year ago. Kayla, what do you think?
I love this team. I think that's so awesome for them. I love that it's being broadcasted because I think softball is, it's amazing sport to watch. I've been watching a lot more of it lately, and I think it's just so impressive what these girls have been able to do. And Johnny, what do you think of their?
Oh, you think, oh, awesome. There's a girl in Oklahoma hitting 387. And then you're like, oh, it's the whole team. Yeah. ERA of like 0.6. That's insane. It's stupid.
It's absolutely absurd. Especially when you said put it in perspective, look at the team right behind them. It doesn't even come close at all. And it's really just been amazing to watch them. And I hope they do kind of go a little further to the World Series. I know we would love to see our UCF girls there as well. And I think they're doing pretty good. I don't know. We'll see what happens with them. But thank you guys so much for being on the show today. It was a pleasure to have you. Happy to be talking MLB as always. And we will see you guys next week.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my